This will be going down another rabbit hole. I like to look at certain dates and so forth that are important in history. And what I did at the time around when the lockdowns happened in 2020, I remember looking at the March 13th date and thinking, geez, that's a weird lineup. And so um, this is March 11th, and that was when the World Health Organization officially declared the outbreak of a pandemic. And if you'll notice, look at all the lines here. Just just at the time I was still studying some of the aspects and so forth, and I just thought it was so strange that there were so many um, things affecting Capricorn, so many aspects affecting the house of Capricorn, which rules the government and structure and restrictions. And so uh, on that day that they declared the pandemic, we had Saturn, which is the ruler of Capricorn, in the house of Capricorn. So restrictions, and then death, secrets, uh, sexuality, which is the ruler is Pluto, and psychology, but secrets, and then Jupiter, which expands everything, and it's a foreign and long distance matters and philosophy, religion, and then Mars, which is the energy or image projected. So I thought, with all these lines, all of these aspects, all the lines connected there to uh, this house of confusion, Pisces house of confusion, the sun there, and Neptune is the ruler of confusion, and hidden secrets. That's the house of hidden secrets. And I just thought it's funny to look back at that again. And this red line here connects all those aspects to Uranus, which is weird and unusual things, and Mercury, which is communications, back up here in Aquarius, affecting society, communications affecting society at large. Just really strange lineup. And I remember looking back at that, but what I looked at was, and I'll go to the next slide, I looked at the 13th, which was the date that President Trump announced the lockdown and the national emergency. And at that time, I remember being real skeptical, and um, I saw uh, a reel or video talking about what that meant when a national emergency was declared. It supposedly took the president's power away and gave it to the World Health Organization, was what I remember seeing, and I thought, well, that's a horrible thought. I don't want some unelected body ruling what's happening in our country, but that's what happened. And as you can see, this is pretty much not a lot of different movement in the planets. The moon being in the house of secrets, Scorpio. I think it was on the last slide too. I didn't mention it, but in this one, it's connected to Uranus and all the energy up at the top to Uranus down here at the bottom. It's connecting with the oppositions, or it's got an opposition to Venus, which is people's money, and the house where the moon is rules people's money also. So I don't know, it was a horrible time. And what I wanted to show was just what you see in a chart can be real telling. All these aspects was what I noticed. It wasn't even the planets that I noticed at first. It was the lines in the middle of the chart. And I'm going like, wow, what a lineup of all that energy. And then you look up there and see all that energy in the restricted sign of the government. And that mostly rules the government. I mean, justice can be from truth and philosophy and Sagittarius, or justice can be from Libra, but anyway, that's what I wanted to show. The next slide has the next. This was the 15th, and that's when lockdowns happened in the bigger cities, and everything was locking down, and it's a lot of the same lineup. It's just the effects of the pandemic were taking effect on the cities on this day. The bigger cities were locking down everything. So anyway, just thought I'd mention what I saw. I saw this, and I just saw this lineup of all the aspects. On the 13th was what I was looking at, and it was just I thought it was so strange, and it was very, very odd for the whole government to be locked down. I haven't mentioned in any of the videos how Scorpio rules poisons and so forth, and we might see if there's anything to do with poisons, like Pluto up at the top in whoa, I lost my little pin here. But anyway, like Pluto is the ruler of poisons, or being poisoned. So, I mean, it rules Scorpio and the house of death and transformations and rebirth. And when you're talking about transformation, it can be death can be a transformation from being alive to being deceased. And anyway, so, and it was in that lineup of planets in Capricorn there. So and poisons were, I mean, biological weapons is the lab leak was, it was I guess you'd call it it definitely poisoned people. um, the ruler Chiron, I always like to look at Chiron when things are going wrong, because it's where your wounds are, where you can't heal yourself, and that's in Aries, the first house of energy. And so uh, that was connected to all those lines too. That's just astrology, and this is my hobby, looking at all this strange, weird energy that we had. Thanks for listening.